Welcome back here. We're a moments away from starting the grand finals of the IC Winter Open, the final best of 3 to determine who comes home with the title of champion. Will it be KGO? Will it be KGB? It looks like the lobby's just actually started.
Well, I can tell you one thing, it's going to be Clever Gaming either way.
That's true. Clever Gaming looks so strong here. And here in the lobby, we can see the players are beginning to pick their champions. KGB going with the same lineup that really worked for them so well in yesterday's matches. Platypus with the support Poison Ivy, Shazam with Spaghetti, and Blue Freeze with Batman. Really strong in jungle. 9 with Cyborg. I think he's always been Cyborg. I saw him play Gaslight Batman once.
He's been it, but I think Cyborg has proved to be just such a powerful champion at this point that there's really no reason not to pick him.
He really is. I mean, you see some other marksmen like Gaslight Batman being picked, but it's usually because they already have Cyborg and they want a lot of marksmen on the team, so they kind of double up there. KGO, looks like they're going to play Wonder Woman, or no, he's debating. Atomic Poison Ivy is the pick right now for African. And he's also, Kai's playing Zatanna, and Kai's often played Zatanna, very, very good with Zatanna, but that's going to be a big difference here, is basically Zatanna, the support of Zatanna versus the damage of Mecha Wonder Woman. That's one big difference on a team if you look at their power damage. And then the other difference is basically the crowd control and durability of Atomic Poison Ivy for KGO versus Batman's. I think he's maybe slightly more versatile in that he can do a little bit more damage output on his own. Batman can go in and take out a champion on his own, whereas Poison Ivy, Atomic Poison Ivy, maybe not so great at soloing another champion, but better at general crowd control.
And better at protecting. So it seems like they've got a whole lot of defense and a lot of peel for the Cyborg, and if they need Shazam, but obviously Ease has proven that he doesn't really need much protection. But it's interesting, we do see KGB going with that aggressive play. We've got the Mecha Wonder, we've got the Batman, and Atomic Poison Ivy having her early ganks be so incredibly powerful. Because of course Batman can go in solo. He can go in and just deal a lot of damage to one person, lock that one person down. But Atomic Poison Ivy, she has that thorn wall that can slow people, and she's also got the snares, so she can slow a bunch of people as well as choose one target to focus on. And not to mention her ult giving her entire team stealth, and they've only got 1 X-ray vision over there. And X-ray vision is a pretty steep cooldown, so unless Platypus saves it to counter Atomic Poison Ivy's ultimate every time, they're gonna have a hard time picking out the targets in her circle.
You know, one thing that I'm a little bit worried about for KGO though is, who do they have that can really shut down Telekinetic? I mean, it's going to be up to Ease, but on his own, if Telekinetic's being supported by Platypus or Poison Ivy, they don't really have anyone else who can just charge in there and get to the back rank of the engagement.
That's true, but I think that when it comes down to Mecha Wonder Woman, the bulk of her damage really comes out of her ultimate, and the ultimate roots her as well. So if they can kind of play around anticipating, when do you think Telekinetic is going to use his ultimate to try to dish this damage out? And it's sort of an obvious tell, he's got to be in such a way that he wants to hit multiple targets with it. It's kind of a waste because it's got a steep cooldown if he uses it only on one.
So we'll see how that comes into play later on. As far as items, fairly similar item builds, kind of what you would make sense for. One thing I've noticed is KGO, everybody who's basically besides Cyborg who's going to be in the lane, they're really liking the Medusa mask. Of course, it just adds a lot of regen for both health and will and some total health. So it's a really great item for sustaining yourself throughout the battle.
Yeah, that Medusa's effect is going to be really powerful. We might even see Game Slave might be going solo, or he might be deciding to lane with one of the supports. But if not, if you see Poison Ivy and Zatanna in a lane together, that's actually not something that you see too often, but something that I've personally played that can work out really well due to the sustain and the amount of damage. And having a Medusa will just kind of snowball that effect.
So it looks like right now, KGB has 9 at the bottom, up against Kai going solo bottom as Zatanna, both of course placing those cameras to make sure that they, if someone comes in to gank him, they can at least get that heads up. We do have Game Slave with dual laning along with Geese versus Platypus and Telekinetic. So both Poison Ivy's in a dual lane. Of course, Poison Ivy much stronger in a dual lane than as herself, just because the passive can help both you and your teammate.
Absolutely. I feel like Game Slave, rather, Poison Ivy Cyborg might be a slightly stronger combo than Poison Ivy Mecha Wonder Woman if GS will save his Blow Kiss for when Telekinetic does it. But it's kind of going to be difficult to say because it seems like they just kind of thrown it. They're just trying to get damage out already.
Yeah, right now, of course, with the ability we're talking about is Poison Ivy has a Blow Kiss ability that does some power damage and also reduces the basic attack of your opponent over the next few seconds. But right now, they're both constantly backing away, and they're not actually doing that many basic attacks. So it's mostly for that initial damage right now.
Yeah, and Atomic Poison Ivy, kind of hanging on in the jungle too, is going to be a totally different kind of play than Shazam. I mean, having her come out and she's already coming out to gank.
Uh-oh, this could be bad. KGB backs away quickly. They knew that with African there in the picture too. Atomic Poison Ivy has so many stun abilities, they could go down quick.
Atomic Poison Ivy is kind of one of the others that can be really strong throughout all of the game. I don't think she falls off as hard as Shazam if she doesn't get any kills, simply because of the innate tankiness that she has due to her passive. But we'll see. I'm interested in seeing it. Atomic Poison Ivy hasn't had a lot of play. She only came out just last week. So the fact that African has even decided to play her and bring her into this tournament shows a lot of gumption on his part.
Yeah, looks like some trades going in here. Telekinetic getting very low, but both GameSlave and G's are low. Telekinetic goes in, tries to get a kill on GameSlave. Actually, sorry, that was G's. Both players from KGO very low. Can they pick up the kill on Telekinetic? They do. But G's has got to get, a great stun on Platypus to cover his escape, and that was really well played by the KGO team.
I was really scared for a second. It looked like GameSlave was actually going to disengage before he got that final basic attack off on Telekinetic, but able to pick up that first kill, that's going to be tough. I think Telekinetic's probably pretty disappointed about that. All it really took was one more right click, but I think he was a little bit too overzealous and thought that he did a little bit more damage than he actually does. On
the bottom lane, it looks like Nine is gaining the upper hand. Of course, you can see he still has majority of his life. Kai's very low on life, also a level behind him. So it looks like Cyborg right now, at least 9, is doing a better job here on the bottom lane.
Having a marksman against somebody like Zatanna especially is really tough because she's got a linear combo to deal damage, whereas 9 just has to right click. And that may make it sound like, oh, marksmen are overpowered, but you could have a marksman against him instead of having a support, because Zatanna is not a blaster. She's a support that can act as a blaster situationally, but she does not have the same damage output that Cyborg does.
Meanwhile, a player we talked about a lot before the game started was Ease, and so far he hasn't really made an appearance, but you can tell he's just been jungling, trying to get as much experience and credits as possible. You can see his credits are actually fairly high at 1450. He's just slightly behind corresponding KGB Shazam jungler Spaghetti.
Just slightly. But I mean, what do you think that is? You think it's because he was kind of hanging around bot? You think he...
It could just be he was like one slightly bit slower on the jungle camp, or it could be he was afraid that Zatanna needed support, so we kind of backed away to help her out once or twice and lost a couple seconds here or there. It's not a big difference, though. We're
seeing a lot of pingings happening here in the top lane. I think that maybe GameSlave is a little bit excited by his kill on Telekinetic and might want to force that sort of engage again, hoping that he can snowball himself to victory.
It looks like here it's coming. East and African coming from the top. Telekinetic uses W to get out there. Can they stop him? Ooh, he barely gets back to the tower in time. If he was about 1 second later, I think they would have been able to chain stun him outside the tower range, and that would have been basically a guaranteed kill at this point in the game.
See, it seems like there's a lot more active jungling on KGO's part. They're kind of ignoring the bottom lane because he has Kai at bay. I feel so bad because Zatanna is just so tough in a solo lane, and Kai is probably an excellent solo laner, but it's a natural disadvantage to be a support against a marksman.
Well, we're talking about how it's looking bad for Kai in the bottom lane, but if you look at things, 1,700 credits, it's basically 400 credits behind 9 and 1 level. So I mean, definitely 9 is winning the lane, but it's not something that necessarily ends the game as big as maybe getting a couple kills or getting to relays or winning that first Raider fight.
That's definitely true, but I mean, 400 credits already on so early when the most players only have about 20 or 2,000 credits. It shows that it's a lot.
Oh, Spaghetti goes in on GameSlave. He pops in vulnerability. He goes down as well, but Spaghetti's very low. Can they stun him? No, he's going to get away. And that was a really well-done gank by the KGB Shazam.
Wow, Spaghetti was like, got my ultimate, going for the gank. He wasted no time in that. That was an excellent play, and that's good to know your limits, especially when you're tower diving against a Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I mean, he went right into the tower. He knew he could take a couple of hits and still get the kill and get out of there safely. And it was a close call, actually. If one more stun from Atomic Poison Ivy while he was in that tower range, he probably would have died. But he knew exactly that he could get out there just before he would be taken out.
This is the strength of Atomic Poison Ivy. You can see that she deals some damage, but she has no will now. So when she has no will, her basic attacks are kind of pitiful, unless you decide to go like the Psy Scimitar route. So all she can kind of do is just like whack them in the face with one of her roots.
Root whack may seem scary, but not as dangerous.
I mean, it looks scary.
It looks scary, but definitely like a cyborg plasma round does a lot more damage, at least in a game of Infinite Crisis. Right now we're seeing the Raider is almost up at the bottom. Players have been going back to make sure they're at full health, full will. All their items are all set because they know that this battle right here is a very important part of the game. This Raider's going to spawn at the bottom, and this Raider is basically a giant neutral creep, but whoever ends up killing it, their team gets a good amount of experience and credits, or at least anyone who's in that area. It's
kind of interesting. Spaghetti actually uses ult to secure that kill top, but it might have doomed them down here. Now that they've all got the numbers, well, I guess GS does not have her ultimate either, nor does Telekinetic have his. Because of that early kill on Telekinetic, he does not have level 6. So I think KGO might actually be at the slight advantage here if they play this right, but they could be stalling for Spaghetti's ult because it's going to be up in 15 seconds, and I think they might know this. I think that might be something they're suspecting.
I'm sure they're talking about it in their team chat right now, saying, all right, guys, let's wait to make sure Shazam has his ult up before he really commit to a battle around a Raider. But Telekinetic not having 6 is really a big deal because Mecha Wonder Woman's ultimate is one of the main strengths of playing her. It's really, her key aspect is having that ultimate.
Well, you can see he's resorted going back to the lane, so I think he's actually trying to get his ultimate by pushing those drones. He's just pushing away, and I imagine he's not too much behind. So probably by the end of this wave, he's going to be getting level 6, and that will change the tide immensely.
Well, we'll see if he can get it. Oh, turned into a wrap by Zatanna, puts a lot of damage. East comes in with his ultimate, but KGO is forced back pretty hard. African was not in the picture. Coming in kind of late. May secure a kill on Telekinetic. No, will not actually. That's the weakness with Atomic Poison Ivy. On her own, she can't do too much damage, and KGB picks up a pair of kills here.
Ooh, Spaghetti was a little greedy, but he still did pick up the kill that he went in for. Wow, I think that they're going to pick up the Raider as well as those kills, so that's definitely bleak for KGO.
It's not looking too great. We can see they're already down by 1,000 credits. This Raider is going to give KGB an even greater credit lead. Yes, Spaghetti did go down, but for 3 kills on the other side, definitely worth it.
You think that was a little bit at the fault of African for not going in there to protect his team and trying to pick up the kill on Telekinetic? Because Telekinetic being bullied out of there was like, it seemed like he was out of the fight and not really intending to go back in immediately. And it's probably good to put your focus on him, but maybe he should have just gone and seen if he could disrupt the rest of the team instead of going for one.
Could have been. By the way, guys, right in front of your screens, you do see an Elite Founders Pack. The first person to put that in gets an Elite Founders Pack. It's about $100 value. All kinds of champions, costumes, and all cool stuff you can get there. 777QT9QPRNLXRFRJY7KHTAC3K.
It's also early access to our tri-lane map.
Yes.
Once it becomes released, which is known as Gotham Divided. It's the traditional map that people like to play. So if you see Coast City and you're like, man, 2 lanes, it's not enough lanes for me. Pick that up, and when Gotham Divided comes out, you'll have the early access to those who don't have a bounty pack.
And that'll, of course, put you ahead. You can stomp all your buddies, and they'll be like, hey, I'm trying to get used to this new map. You'll be a little bit ahead. But back to the game at hand. I do think one of the biggest problems in that Raider fight is that African, he came in from behind when I think he needed to be kind of in the middle of his team so he could move in any direction he wanted to. Right. He was just out of position before the fight was even engaged. So you could say it was his fault for being there, or it was his team's fault for going in when he wasn't in position.
It's definitely hard
right?
to say whose fault that was.
You can't really tell. It was a team coordination mistake, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, Spaghetti goes into ultimate, but geez, puts on the shield, and somehow they all survive. That's the strength of Poison Ivy. They're keeping her team alive throughout a barrage of ultimates.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be rough for them. Unless they get any support up there, I think they might all be dead because you can see Batman actually coming from behind. Blue Priest comes in and snipes Poison Ivy. I don't think any of Red is making out if you're alive. I think KGO is going to see mega death over here. Double kill for Blue Priest.
Batman from behind, one of the worst ways to go down, and this turret's almost for sure going to go down as well as soon as a couple more drones come in from KGB's side to help them tank this wave. And now we're seeing about over a 3K credit difference, and that's big enough that things are starting to look a little bit bleak for KGO, but actually 3K is actually not that amount of credit difference, considering that it looks like they've been getting pummeled, but they're still definitely in the game with that close of a credit rating.
I don't know. I don't know if it's 3K or closer to 6K.
It just changed once the tower went down.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay on the spectator client that we have thus far. So yeah, once you get the turret, there's a lot of credits going out to your team. But this is KGB, and this is what KGB has been doing throughout this entire tournament. They coordinate, they pick targets, and they stick on targets. And despite the fact that they were on that turret taking damage for probably a good 25, 30 seconds, and none of them died because they rotated the turret aggro in perfectly.
Yeah, that's something they do so well, is just coordinating the team. They don't get scared if they're on no life, as long as they know their team's there to back them up.
Uh-oh, I think...
Oh, there's a camera, though. What Platypus was trying to bait some of the KGO players into a trap with telekinetic waiting there, but with that camera, that trap has already been spotted. Game Slave and G's are not going to fall for that.
We're already seeing some stuff happening here in bottom. Blue Freeze going in on Kai way past the turret, even though his team has not backed him up. It looks like he might suffer for this.
Oh, but Ease is very smart, backs away. Ease really wanted to get that kill, but realized chasing Batman might not be the smartest thing when he has teammates there. Spaghetti's going back home. And right now, Ease and Kai are doing pretty well in the lane. Meanwhile, at the top, looks like we had a bit of a skirmish. It's 3-on-2 here, but KGB is still pushing forward very confidently.
We're seeing KGO pinging actually underneath KGB's turret in the top lane. I think they're suspecting that people are coming, but with 3 against 2 up here, Telekinetic might... Oh, he's just going to turn around and use his ultimate. He's going to catch all of them in it, and we can see GS almost goes down. African... Oh, he's just ignoring African. He was super... what is it? One-track mind?
Well, I think he knew that the kill on African could happen at any time. Atomic Poison Ivy has no way to escape, right? She doesn't move super fast. She has no ability to get away. Uh-oh, Game Slave could go down as well. The strike. Oh, wait. Oh, almost turned a reverse kill and got Telekinetic with the ultimate. Telekinetic just barely dodged it. But now he's very low, and Kai and G's are here in the picture. Platypus trying to run cover for him.
Oh, Telekinetic just aggroed those jungle drones, and I'm not sure if he was trying to lure them to deal damage to Kai or if that was a bit of an accident.
Yeah.
Just one skewer on Telekinetic is gonna make him go down.
Oh,
ooh, the
this
hesitation.
is the strength of KGB, the teamwork between the two players. Platypus finally goes down, but as G's gonna go for Telekinetic. They're both very low. A bold move. G's dodges the glaive throw, now coming in for the kill, using the shadows as cover.
Oh, yep, that afterburn. Got her out of range.
Batman always in the scene at the right time. Poison Ivy, no match for the Kid Crusader. Actually, her fellow Poison Ivy from the Atomic World comes in to help her escape there.
That was awesome. And it looks like Shazam is actually soloing. I think Spaghetti is getting the Raider by himself at bottom. GS, despite being really low, knows that he can't really afford to give this power relay up, especially in anticipation of the 15-minute mark where the third relay would be spawning. They would probably have Snowball's chance in hell if they let that go.
Blue Freeze being very confident. Batman in the house here. There's no one close to him, but you know, he just knows that there's no one at the bottom sticking around behind him either. Now he has Poison Ivy coming up to help support him. You know, one thing that's surprising is KGB has been pushing very aggressively throughout this game. And with Atomic Poison Ivy on KGO, you would think they could set up a lot of really good traps, but they really haven't been able to get too many kills so far.
I think it has to do with the fact that KGB has really good vision control, and they're good at turning fights in their favor. So, and even KGO's team composition, they don't have the same killing power. So even if they're both as adept at focusing, they don't have the same damage output to take people out as quickly. Game Slave goes down to the ultimate over the wall as well as the glaive throw, and that's the sort of thing that's really rough. Even that aggressive afterburn on Telekinetic, he just doesn't care. He knows that his team is going to come back him up.
Well, this time he may have bitten off more than he can chew. Still not dead. How is he alive? Finally goes down and picks up another kill beforehand, and now the rest of his team's right there. Johnny on the spot to finish up the kills. Yes, Telekinetic is down and dead, but he's already got 4 kills. He's definitely accomplished his goal for the team.
Yeah, and it's a small price to pay to die, to pick up a bunch of assists on every single person who converts to kill you, right?
That's true. That's true. He definitely got the vengeance was got him by his team. And of course, that's going to mean they can secure the top power relay as well. Now with a 2-to-1 power relay advantage, KGB is going to have much stronger drones pushing on the top lane. Not this wave quite yet, but the next wave coming out is going to be drones that are much, much more difficult to kill. And the super drones are so strong, they can push the lane almost on their own.
As well as, I think that, what's going on up here? At this point, with all of them so far ahead, they need to make sure, I should say, KGO needs to make sure that they're putting vision out. And like I've said before, try to catch them out of position. They've got the X-ray vision on Poison Ivy Prime. They need to try to find out where the vision is held by KGB. But at this point, I don't think KGB has any fear of taking them in anything that's evenly matched. not to mention the Doomsday device.
I mean, you can definitely tell there's 2 of them pushing in on their own right now. There's no one in support. They know there's at least 2 players from KGO in the area, but Telekinetic and Platypus are so confident. Getting some more vision in this area, that's a great spot so they can see people circling around to get behind him. And now they're coming up here.
Batman and Shazam, I think, coming into the Doomsday device. They've already taken it, and now they're setting up to probably just to take that top turret. They've already taken the first Doomsday device. They know that the second one is going to be coming up pretty quickly after they drop it.
Spaghetti's here with the Doomsday device, a giant bomb. It will explode automatically in 38 seconds, but he can make it explode earlier. Where is he going to place that device?
Oh, of course, the third power relay is what he's going to get. And I don't know that they can contest that at all.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is once they take a third power relay, it'll actually reset the timer on their power relays. And they're going to have a 3-0 power relay advantage for quite a long time. Is he going to use it? There it goes. The Doomsday device not hitting anything, but it does crack the power relay back to neutral. Is KGO going to try to contest it? I mean, like you said, I just don't think they can. There's Kai trying to poke at him from the back.
All Spaghetti has to do, all they have to do is get one little stun on Kai and he's dead.
Kai realizes it, turns on to speed boost. Meanwhile, the rest of them are trying to push in from the front. Spaghetti goes in hard with his ultimate, Telekinetic as well. Game Slave looks like he's, Poison Ivy goes down. Game Slave somehow still alive, but that's not going to last for long. Ease is taking major damage as well. The entire KGO team is trying to defend his turret, but I think even Kai, there's no way she can get out of here as well.
Yeah, it looks like they might suffer a complete annihilation right now.
Well, African's going strong, trying to take down 9, but this is the problem. Not enough damage output. His lifesteal alone can heal him up faster than he goes down. With that, like you said, an annihilation. Cyborg 9 with a triple kill. And as they're going back to heal up, guys, there's another key there. Founders Pack key on the screen. Go ahead, put it in. Get all the champions, get early access to the new tri-lane map, get all the cool costumes, and lots of awesome gear.
I don't know that things are looking too good for KGO now at this point with 5 dead and Telekinetic being the only person to die in that entire exchange. The credits have 20k of a difference, so I don't know, man. I don't have any words. My words of advice is just really vision, vision, vision. They need to get out there and they need to put their cameras in spots that are ideal, and they need to use X-ray vision.
You know, the hard part, though, is if they want to use X-ray vision to get rid of some of the opposing cameras, that means they actually have to go out into the middle of the map. And that's pretty scary at this point. They're already kind of in a little bit of a hard spot here. Telekinetic looks like he's alone, but no, with KGB, there's always someone nearby. Platypus, I don't think, has ever left Telekinetic's side this entire game, and I think that's one of their big strategies, is keeping Telekinetic alive as long as possible so he can really dish out his insane damage.
Platypus is actually really excellent. I think he supports Telekinetic every single game. At least the ones that they decide to lane together, that's what we see happening. And Spaghetti is such a good jungler. He knows all of the cues. He knows where he needs to be, like as we saw when they turned it around in the top lane, and he just got his ult and immediately went in on that Cyborg. I think KGO is they're going to need to do something really special. Third Raider goes down, puts even more credits in KGB's favor.
They're now ahead by about 23,000 credits. Absolutely insane. KGO back into base, extremely defensive formation. And look at this. There's, again, KGB, Platypus, and Telekinetic. No one nearby to help, but they don't care. They, like you said, they have the vision. They know KGO is contained, basically. But now, if Ease comes in here, there could be a 4-on-2. But now Blue Freed's coming in to back to support. And actually a 4-on-3. Look at that ultimate from Telekinetic. Absolutely insane damage output.
Yeah, it's so incredibly wide that if he angles it in such a way that it's going to catch pretty much everybody in the lane in front of him. That was a near annihilation, but what the heck is Cyborg going to do? Cyborg is the squishiest person on that team, well, with the exception of Zatanna.
Well, he's going to run back and heal up and see if he can go out to contest anything. Of course, meanwhile, what we do see is happening. The power core turrets are going down very fast. Cyborg's going to try to take on Telekinetic. Telekinetic very low. Still confident, though, chasing after Cyborg, going after him even in the heal zone. That's not going to work. Telekinetic, did he overextend? Oh, even the ultimate can't finish him off, and Batman picks up the kill on Cyborg.
I think that was a bit of a deliberate play on Telekinetic. I think he knew that he might have even died again, and he just took the focus from Cyborg away, who was the only person who could stop those power core turrets from going down.
And there you have it, KGB with a fairly decisive Game 1 victory. You know, it was amazing is every single player on a team was always where they needed to be at the right time. I mean, it was just, they were so spot on. Platypus always in her support. Platypus did get killed a couple times, but that's because she was there distracting so that Telekinetic could dish out the damage and did an excellent job doing so. Blue Freeze and Spaghetti were so great at the ganks. I don't think I ever saw them try to go for gank and not get a kill.
Yeah, and I think even if they were up there in the top lane, it was mostly just to show that they had the capacity to kill. But I mean, you don't really find yourself running away from Shazam or Batman. They've both got the energy, and they both have the ability to close gaps with a point-and-click skill. So they're definitely tough ones to run from, and I think Spaghetti and Blue Freeze are very well aware of that. Their choice picks, in fact, all 4 of those, Batman, Shazam, Mecha Wonder Woman, and Cyborg, Poison Ivy gets traded out for other supports occasionally, but the 4 of those seem to be the core, undisputed strongest champions that we have thus far.
Yeah, they definitely see FaceTime in the vast majority of teams. We've seen some of the teams try to psycho out like Batman for Wonder Woman as more of a support. For example, KGO, they didn't have Batman. Instead, they've been using the Atomic Poison Ivy. But I think, definitely every champion has their strengths. But Batman and Shazam have that versatility where they could jungle fast, they can dish out damage, they can initiate, they can take damage, and they can even protect. They can be support because they have all their stuns. They can actually protect someone just by killing whoever's attacking them, right? That's the best way to protect someone.
I mean, I think that KGO needs to be a little bit more aggressive if they want to contest it, because Atomic Poison Ivy is a really good pick, but I wonder that Zatanna might not be that great because she doesn't deal a lot of damage, and obviously as a champion she's excellent, but in that coordinated play, going against a team like KGB, you need to have the same type of offense because you need to be able to take out their marksmen and their blasters as quickly as they can take you out. Otherwise, it's kind of just hoping that they don't have the capacity to kill you, which clearly is not the case.
No, there's so much damage output there on KGB's side. I mean, the only person who could take out those blasters and assassins was Ease. And he was never ever really to accumulate a lot of credits or really get that snowball going where it's, superpower Shazam. So that's why teams like to have a Batman and Shazam. So even if one of them is getting kind of shut down, you have the other person who can come in there and secure those kills.
Yeah.
But again, it is a best of 3. This is game 1. Clever Gaming Origin may try to make their comeback here. We'll see if they can do any better in game 2. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 is coming up next.